Alright, welcome back. So we're here with the season ticket predictions for the Spring Split Week 2. Now just to quickly recap on what happened in Week 1. I'm not really sure what happened in Week 1, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that had their picks and predictions all sorts of messed up. But just like I said in the Week 1 video, it's going to take a few weeks for everybody to understand where these teams are, how they're performing, and if they're top or middle or bottom of the tier teams. And it'll take a while for these teams to kind of lock down their roster, because in the first few weeks, the pros are just going to be just switching teams all the time. So that can really throw off picks and predictions. So for now, the safe bets are clearly Panda, which are the current SMITE world champions, formerly known as Epsilon, but the same roster. Envy looked super solid. All-star team as well, and Paradigm, they're coming in hot with the same roster from season 2, and that is a huge advantage right now against these season 3 teams. That a lot of these teams are newly formed, so they haven't built up that team synergy has compared to Paradigm. So going in for week 2 predictions, starting with Enemy versus Randozos. Enemy looked really strong with their match last week against Luminosity, which is a team full of superstars from Cloud9 and TSM, so being able to 2-0 them, I'm sure it was not an easy feat. So I feel like they can pretty easily 2-0 Randozos. Now, that's not to say that Luminosity won't be a top team in North America, because I feel like they will be one of the top teams. It's just it'll take a few weeks of just practice and just building up that team synergy, and they can easily be a top team. So yeah, that's my votes for Enemy. Next, Allegiance versus Denial. As of right now, I personally feel like these will probably be two teams that can go head to head and probably split somewhat equal balance footing. So that's why I put a split. However, you probably don't want to do too many splits for your picks because there was 9 matches last week and only one of them was a split. So yeah, so that's just my picks for that. Next, NV versus Soar Gaming. Soar Gaming has not played in the SPL so far, so have no idea how they're going to perform. But I do know how Team Envy plays and their general results, and I feel like my safer picks would be the 2-0 with them. Next, Cringe Crew versus Hungry for More. Cringe Crew, another team that has not played Week 1 or any of the SPL matches. Most of their team, I think, consists of London Conspiracy from Season 2, if you're familiar with that, so that should give you a general idea of how this team might perform, and therefore I'm giving my 2-0 with them. Next, Torpedo Gaming versus Leftovers. These two teams both fought the SMITE World Champions last week, so that's not exactly the fairest of matches for them. So you probably can't see how they might perform against somewhat of equal footing. But however, out of those two teams fighting the World Champions, Leftovers did perform better and they held their own better. They still lost 2-0 to them, but they did better than Torpedo did. So that's why I'm leaving my 2-0 with Leftovers. Next, this will be a really, really great match to watch. Paradigm versus Panda. I feel it'll be the World Champions again. I don't really feel like betting against them, so that's why I have my 2-0 with them. Though, however, it could possible that Paradigm could take one game. I don't think they could take 2 games, but if any, 1 game, but more than likely 2-0 with Panda. That's just my opinion. Next, Fnatic versus Cringe Crew. Fnatic, they looked a little wobbly last week against their game with Dignitas. Now, they won 1, lost 1, so it's not the worst. Maybe they needed like 1 match to just warm up and then they could really perform. And this, like, it depends on how well Cringe Crew do against Hungry for More earlier in the week, and that will kind of decide if they can, win with Fnatic. But for now, haven't seen Cringe Crew play, seen Fnatic play, and I feel like they could probably go with the 2-0. So, I mean, that could be either way. It just depends on how Cringe Crew performs against Hungry for More on Friday. Next, Enemy versus Denial. Should be another great game to watch. I don't know. I feel like they would definitely 2-0, just riding on the same fact that they 2-0 Luminosity last week. And I feel like Luminosity would probably be better than Denial. That's just my logic, just my opinion. Going on with the Monday Night Smite with Luminosity versus Envious. This is another pretty hyped match. Though, depending, just going off of that week 1 match with Luminosity, wasn't the hottest, and Envy they're looking pretty hot, so go with the 2-0 for Envy. So that's just my opinion on all these matches. So feel free to let me know your picks if you want, and hopefully it may help you get some fantasy points if you don't know too much about esports. SMITE Esports, that is. And I'll put the SMITE Esports website on the description below so you can check out the teams for yourself and you can form an opinion for yourself. So yeah, that's it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.